Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and we're going to be looking at the ThorFire VG15S flashlight. I was contacted by them and asked if I would be interested in reviewing this light. So the first thing I did is I took a look at some of the specs, and specifically what caught my eye was the measurement of the flashlight. I found this to be a little bit smaller than the other flashlights along the same line that this one would fall into. So I decided to ask them to go ahead and send it out so I can compare it to, again, some of those flashlights that I have been previously carrying or reviewing. So this is the box that it comes with. When you open it up, you have a couple things. Obviously the flashlight itself. You have this little accessory bag which comes with a really nice wrist lanyard, and it comes with a little crab claw here to attach to the flashlight. And then you have a couple of spare O-rings. And then you have your user manual. Now, what I've noticed is a lot of flashlight companies have gotten very good at minimizing their user manuals to basically just the basic information that you might need. So as you guys can see, ThorFire did the same with this one. It just gives you a little bit of the outputs, run times, and things like that, which is for the most part what a lot of people want to know. So here is the flashlight itself. So I don't know if you guys can see, but taking a look at it, it is very small. Here it is in my hand. In a comparison with some of the other flashlights along this same style, I found this to be almost an inch shorter than those. So again, that was what originally caught my eye, which was the specs and measurements on this flashlight. Now at this size, it's actually putting out on turbo 1070 lumens, running off of one 18650 rechargeable battery. So again, you're getting a smaller package, but you're not compromising as far as the output goes, which is really, really nice. As far as the build quality, it is aircraft grade aluminum, so it's going to be pretty light, but it's also going to be very, very sturdy. You have some nice functional knurling right in the middle here, and then in the tail cap area right here also. And that comes in handy when you want to go ahead and grab the flashlight and pull it out of your pocket once it's clipped on there, again, because it is a little bit smaller. If you would look at the tail cap, you have two little wings on either side of the switch there, and those have the cutouts so you can go ahead and attach that wrist lanyard on there. You have the rubberized tail cap switch. Now the switch serves to turn the flashlight on and off and then to cycle through the modes, and it's actually the only switch on the light, so everything is going to be ran through here. Nice pocket clip here, very, very sturdy. It is only a one position clip, so in other words, you cannot remove this and clip it on the other side if you are the type of person that likes to run your flashlight with the head sticking up. I personally prefer it this way, so I don't really mind it. And then you also have a crenulated bezel right in the front here, or an attack bezel as some people call it. So if you do need to use that as an impact device, you can, you have that option on the light itself. As I mentioned, you have a turbo output of 1070 lumens on this guy, but you do have a couple other different modes, which I'll go ahead and run through, and we'll take a look at those. So again, the tail cap switch is going to be used to turn the light on and off. So I'll go ahead and turn it on, and we'll start out with the Firefly mode, and I'm not sure if you guys can make it out, but this is going to be 0.5 lumens, and that's going to run you for 360 hours. Now this is great if you want to definitely prolong the life of the battery inside of the flashlight. 0.5 lumens, it's going to do that. Lightly pressing the tail cap switch, it's going to ramp it up to the low mode, and low is going to be 50 lumens, and that's going to be good for 22 hours. And again, this is perfect for if you drop your keys on the floor and you need to find them, if you need to look for something underneath your desk or something like that. And again, this is going to run you for 22 hours. Pressing it again is going to ramp it up to mid mode, and that's going to be 200 lumens for 2 hours and 45 minutes. And 200 lumens is a perfect amount of output for pretty much any EDC tasks that you might need. Again, it's going to give you more than enough light. If you press it again, that's going to jump up to its high mode, and that's going to be 600 lumens for 1 hour and 25 minutes. So now you're getting into some higher outputs out of a small flashlight like this. 600 lumens is definitely a lot of light coming out of this little guy. And then last but not least, again, it's going to be your turbo, and then turbo is 1070 lumens for 45 minutes. So this is where I was talking about you're not going to be compromising because of the size as far as the output of the light. So this is going to be able to stack up against a lot of the other competitors in this size range that are putting out 1000 or 1000 plus lumens. So again, pressing it, you go ahead and turn it off. turn this overhead light back on. Now this does have a memory, so it will come back on in whatever the last mode that you were using it, as long as you turn it off and then wait a couple seconds. So if I turn it back on, it's going to come back on turbo, 1070 lumens. And for me, that's good because for the most part, I find that in the majority of my flashlights, I end up just using the brightest output. So if I know that I can, turn it off and the next time that I go to use it, it's going to come on in that, then that is perfect. Again, this is running off of one 18650 rechargeable battery. Now the instructions, and this is part of the reason why I always recommend that you read through the user manual and the instructions, do state not to use CR123 batteries. It says they are banned. I believe that's the actual wording. Yep, I'll show you guys right there. So CR123 batteries are banned. So it's calling for you specifically to use 18650 batteries. Now, I did want to touch on a couple things specifically with the battery. Again, it's running off of one 18650 rechargeable battery, but it is not included with the package. So that's something that I would probably recommend that maybe ThorFire think for maybe like a second version, or maybe another, further production of this particular light, maybe including the 18650 battery. Now I know by not including, they can actually keep the price a lot lower. So these are actually a very good price for what you're going to be getting as far as the flashlight goes. But again, if you are like myself and already have the batteries, then that's not a problem. But if you're looking at getting this and you don't have the battery, then you need to go ahead and invest in the battery. Now, besides that, it also does not have a way to charge the battery inside of the flashlight itself, like some of the other competitors in this line do. So that's something else to keep in mind. Besides the battery, you would also have to find a way to go ahead and charge it because, again, as the manual states, you're not able to use CR123s as opposed to the 18650. So you're pretty much left having to use that particular battery. Now, as far as personal preference, one thing that I would think that would make this flashlight a lot better, in my opinion, and for my usage, is if they actually included a separate switch to toggle through the modes. Again, that's a personal preference. I prefer those just because, I like to use the one switch to turn it on and off, and then to have a proprietary switch to be able to switch through the modes, because I sometimes find that when I'm clicking through and trying to switch the modes, instead of halfway clicking, I turn it off inadvertently, and then I have to turn it back on and start switching through the modes again. But again, that's a personal preference to me. Now, by way of comparison, just for size reference, I wanted to go ahead and bring in one of the flashlights that I've been talking about as far as like in this particular line, and that is my ThruNite TC12. When I first reviewed this guy, I noted that this was actually a little bit smaller than some of the other flashlights in this line. And again, by way of comparison, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys the size difference between the TC12 and the ThorFire here. So as you guys can see, it is almost an inch shorter. Here they are side by side this way. And then I'll go ahead and lay them down this way. Maybe you'll get a little bit better feel for it. So again, the TC12, I was already under the impression that it was a little bit smaller than some of the other flashlights. And then here comes the VG15S, and it basically comes, almost an inch shorter than that one. So I think this is a great flashlight if you want to cut down on size, but you don't want to give up the output and the runtime that a flashlight running off of an 18650 battery will give you. Again, this is going to be at a plus 1000 lumens, so 1070 lumens on a size of the flashlight this small. And again, you're going to get the attack bezel in the front, and the knurling, the really nice pocket clip, and the couple other accessories that it comes with. So there it is. That is the VG15S by ThorFire. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.